Yeah. Jigga, 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 jigga. Yeah. Jigga, jigga, jigga. Yeah. Do you believe in heaven above? Do you believe in love? Don't tell a lie, don't be false and untrue. It all comes back to you. Open fire in my burning heart. I've never been lucky in love. My defenses are down, a kiss and a frown. I can't survive on my own. If a girl walks in and carves her name in my heart, I'll turn and run away. Every day we've all been led astray. Oh, it's the wrong word. Oh, fuck. Send me an angel. Woo. Send me an angel right now. That's what you get for, like, reading the words and, like, not listening to the song. Because, you know, I mean, that's how you get into trouble on the internet or something with copyright strikes, especially when you're as pitch perfect as I am. Hey, Lane Kramer, good to see you. Everyone's coming in from the cold. I mean, is your football team winning? Yeah. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for this. No sound. But does getting in the way help? Did I fix my Pikachu before the show started? You know, I just kind of roll into it. You know, good afternoon, Mr. Lane. Good to see you. The sully night rises. I like the way that sounds, but it's a little daunting, you know, putting on armor. I need a squire. I don't follow the college ball. You know, I would if they just admit that they pay those kids. They do, don't they? Like, you know, that is the admission of their scholarship. That's the compact. Oh, is it? I saw Nick Nolte and Shaquille O'Neal in Blue Chips. I did. I was also thinking about Any Given Sunday, an Al Pacino movie. Was that a Michael Mann movie as well? And Any Given Sunday. It's a 1999 film. 2 hours and 42 minutes. Oh, no, it was directed by Oliver Stone. The Oliver Stone. Al Pacino, Jamie Foxx, Cameron Diaz, Dennis Quaid. You know, Dennis Quaid and James Woods. Wow, all these, like, wow. You can't hire those two anymore because they're not on the left side of history. Lane says, so I just read this afternoon before we went live, The Fist of Khonshu. And I read Ultimate Spider-Man 10. I like Moon Knight. Ultimate Spider-Man 10. I get the bigger story implications, but this was the second issue in the row I found boring. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get there when we review this week's comics. And we're also going to play our favorite game, you know, What's in the Bag? What's in the bag? What did we get from our local comic book shop this week? That's a preview. And a conversation. What else do we have on our show notes today? Pikachu. We've got, if we have time, I want to talk about publishing. I want to talk about, you know, things that we don't really associate with our comic book industry, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, but it's the foundation of it all. And that's the periodical publication industry. It's about producing and fabricating magazines, layout, design, font, shit like that. I mean, I got a huge appreciation for that and a little bit of a background. Let's see. I am wondering what is in the box for Detective Sully Pit this afternoon. We'll find out one step at a time. Star Wars lore videos. I've been spending a lot of time. Is this thing playing? Here we go. making sure it's, don't want to bore you with all the details here. I hope you can speak Russian. That's Cyrillic. Where's the subtitles? Here we go. This is Stalker, 1979 movie, science fiction, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky. His last movie. This is a work of art. I was on Twitter today. Send me an angel. Send me an angel. It's all the right movies. And what is the greatest work of art in movies? And their vote was 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I can totally get behind. But also, I mean, the Grand Budapest Hotel. I haven't seen that. Citizen Kane. That's interesting. Yeah. The epic jump cut in cinema history. From bone weapon to nuclear weapon. Exactly. Wonderful. Pan's Labyrinth, The Godfather, Lawrence of Arabia, which is best seen in 70 millimeter at my local movie house. But I said, well, I find it hard to have just one. There are so many, and it's better to mention them all. I feel Barry Lyndon eclipses 2001: A Space Odyssey if we're going to talk about Stanley Kubrick. But then there's Stalker by Andrei Tarkovsky, 1979 movie. 2 hours and 43 minutes long. But if you're going to mention Stalker by Tarkovsky, of which choosing this implies you've watched it more than a few times and you've meditated deeply over this masterpiece. Yeah, stalker, wife, child. There are no names really in this book, in this story. There's professor, there's writer, the triumvirate. Enter the zone. This is a movie lovers movie. Oh, really? I just ordered the 4K Blu-ray for Alien Romulus for December the 3rd. Got reminded why I love the Aliens movies. You know, I got to say, too, I will admit that Prometheus grew on me. I saw it opening night. I hated it. And I skipped Alien Covenant outright when it came out. Fast forward to about maybe 2 years ago, I pick up the Alien 6-pack because I didn't have a copy of Alien. I didn't have a copy of Aliens. So it was at the right price too. It was like $15. You're getting like 6 movies or so on Blu-ray. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in. It also had the factory cut, the assembly cut of Alien 3 included in that edition, along with its, theatrical Alien 3. So I watched all 6 of them. I hadn't, I sat down and watched them all. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, which was, I feel like, the weakest of the bunch. And with a Joss Whedon script. And it's really obvious because it suffers from Whedon speak. It does. And then, like, rewatching Prometheus after all these years, then it got me really interested in watching the supplemental stuff behind Prometheus, that the edited scenes, especially with Uland and David with the engineer, and about how, like, there was this huge spiritual B story that got cut out. Like the engineers admit creating humanity on Earth, but they admit they fucked up too, and that they hated their creation. So they tried to give the creation a second chance by sending Jesus Christ. This is a story point in there, and then seeing how how we treated Jesus and what we did to him, and they decided to exterminate us but on the way something happened. It didn't happen, and then and then the engineer's children came home to roost in a way. Prometheus is just great for having the dumbest smart people we've had. Yeah, that's a good way to put it too. I like that. Yeah, but it's also a Ridley Scott movie. It's atmospheric. It's haunting. It's got great pacing. It's so well done. I mean, I'm a big fan of him, and there's a whole bunch of his like recent stuff I haven't seen, like The Last Duel. I'm looking forward to seeing Gladiator 2. I am. I'm going to go see that at the movie theater. Hopefully that will be in 70 millimeter as well, And I've also been telling people about the Earthsats remake of Blazing Saddles. It's called Quentin Tarantino's 2012 Django Unchained. And people are like, I've never heard this before. And I'm like, I know, because I'm the one who made it up. I came to that conclusion. That's my synthesis. That Quentin Tarantino made Django Unchained as an Earthsats remake of 1974 Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. The crux of this biscuit is the apostrophe. It's the relationship between Bart and the Waco Kid. Kind of literally is the relationship between Django and Dr. King Schultz. And that's, just my interpretation. The stories diverge. They're not very similar, but it's more of they're both Westerns, and they both have this archetypical relationship between, the black man and the white man, and like this odd couple in the West, and the hijinks they get into. Hey, way to go, everyone. Show it up. There we go. We got James. How you doing? Alien is awesome. I love Alien Romulus. Check it out. Fear Monarch says that they did make a remake of Blazing Saddles. It was called Paws of Fury, and there's a reason no one talks about it. And that's not just any poop. That's purple poop. I haven't seen Kingdom of Heaven, and I heard it's huge. The theatrical, sometimes, and I've only seen Gladiator once. And Gladiator's got great sound design. It's got great sets. It's got great special effects. It is a really good movie. I'm a huge fan of the Roman Empire as well. I need to give Gladiator a big second life and get a 4K. Maybe an ultra. I have an ultra 4K player. I do. It's an all regions player as well. I keep it in the box. I don't use it unless I have another region's DVD or Blu-ray to play. Like I just got I just picked up Midsummer. This is the Italian version of it, so it's like region B or C or something. But yeah, I mean, look at that. It's totally in Italian. But this is like a 25-minute long extra director's cut of Ari Aster's 2019 from A24 Films, Midsummer, with Florence Pugh and company. Oh my God, this is a great movie. It's a really good movie. This is a better movie. But it's an unfair comparison. This is Stalker. And the wife talks to the camera. She kind of breaks the fourth wall in the beginning and the end of the movie. The last Ridley Scott movie. And Lane Kramer says, it does have Christianity as bad theming and behind the Crusades issue, but it's very well done. And it showed how a great King Baldwin IV was a king, as despite having leprosy. Yeah, he played by Edward Norton too, who was not credited in the movie. Wow, that's good to know. I like that. Yeah, instead of buying a PlayStation 5, that was my Sophie's choice. That was my Sully's choice. Do I really want a PS5? I don't game anymore. I haven't played a game since 2021 or 2022, since like lockdown. I used to play a shitload of Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2017. Love that game. Star Wars Squadrons. I got myself a flight stick just for it. Really awesome, immersive, original trilogy flight game simulator experience. Love that game. Also, as for fighting games go, I played the shit out of Dragon Ball FighterZ Z. It is like a Street Fighter 2, just combos and chains and it's a fighter game. Yeah. And it was robust online play. It looks like you're playing in the cartoon, but I haven't played a game in years. So I would rather, I went and spent that money on a Sony. You know what I mean? It's a Sony, just like my PlayStation would be. I trust the brand. And I got an all regions Ultra 4K player. So it plays Blu-rays, it plays DVDs, and I have an Ultra 4K player as well. So, I mean, I guess that's as good as I can get. I heard about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and I'm interested in it. I really am. I have friends at work that you, Sully, you would like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Kakarot 2. You would love these games. And I'm like, I just don't make time to play games anymore. I get home. I could play an hour a day and just try to play a game and enjoy the game and kill some time that way, but I just don't. Yeah. And, let's see. And also just about every game worth playing anymore is indie in 2 or 4 years to hit consoles, if at all. Yeah, and Star Wars Outlaws. I mean, geez. But hey, I mean, these games, they have to be created with those intentions in order for them to fail, in order for them to come back to reality and be like, okay, we need to just do what we've always been doing, making games. What's the actual topic of today's stream behind the clickbait title? Not really nothing. I mean, it's just your average Sully stream. Are there indie movies the rest of this year I may pick up? Like movies coming out? Or just in the theater or on, I'm waiting for Dune 2 to come down in price on physical media. It's currently, it's between $30 and $40. And I'd rather just maybe wait a little bit and it'll come down in price probably around Christmas time or so. If you watch the documentary, hey, Mark McGrath, by the way, good to see you, man. If I watch the documentary Django and Django, you get where the movie came from and QT's obsession with the movies of Sergio Corbucci and Leone. Yeah. All right. Let's get to it. And we were thinking about reviewing next week's comics as well. And but I'm technically between comic book shops right now. I'm a free agent. Yeah. But no, I have filled out my pull list paperwork for my new comic book shop, and I have to activate it this week. This week also is the last week I'm on the hook for my old comic book shop. They're going to mail it and charge my card. And I don't want, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I mean, I like everyone there. I do. I'll tell you that. I like them more than I like me. And, big whoop. What a prize. Oh, way to go, kid. Wicked fucking proud of you, you big man. Kinda, yeah. I mean, it was, the big move ain't gonna happen until at least by January. I'll be moving over, once my stepdad's all set, and that's the most important thing. And then once he's all set, then what I want to do first is paint. I want to paint my living room. It's purple right now. I'm not Prince. I don't want to live in a purple living room with frilly, curtains. I want blackout curtains. And because I'm a movie head, this thing's going in my living room. I'm getting a new couch, and I'm going to be able to sit down and enjoy movies You know what I mean? I have a living room. I do sit down and enjoy movies. What am I talking about? You know, I don't do it often. You know, I usually watch movies here in my room. But but also that whole thing about, I got this weird vibe from the 3 chicks that worked there. And like, I'd never did anything untoward or creepy, you know what I mean? Or I'll stand by that. Like, I think one of them was watching my YouTube shows, our YouTube shows here, our channel, and probably, you know, maybe that's where those, I don't know. That's me making up their story for them, and I shouldn't care so much. My guru Deepak Chopra said that other people's thoughts are none of your business. More so, their thoughts about you. And that's very freeing. Spiritual, that's moksha, spiritual freedom, unattachment, being non-attached, being in a non-attached state. It's not that I don't care about those people. I will, sure. I mean, they were great, you know, and just because they soured on me doesn't mean I've lost respect for them and that I shouldn't take it so seriously. I should just let it go and move on, you know. Salam, everyone. Hey, Mo, good to see you from halfway across the world. You come. It's always a blessing when to see you, man. Salam, indeed. You're wrong. Says, I have lost so many beloved franchises and pushed out of so many hobbies because of the woke cult and modern insanity progressives. Yep, and that's their that's their goal, is to push you out. Stand your ground. It's like what Picard said in Star Trek First Contact. They keep coming. The line must be drawn here. You've broken your little ship. Hey, Pika Shades, good to see you. Awesome. And I get that. I mean, nobody wants more lesbian Star Wars. But I really feel like when we phrase it like that, though, we give them it's like being Jesus and we're handing the Romans the nails. And it's like, I have gay people in my life. So I have always have since I was a little kid. I had an aunt and an uncle, and then I grew up and moved out of Southie and then began a life in the service industry and restaurants. And there was nothing more stereotypical than a gay waiter in Boston in the 1990s. You know, probably that's cliche. So, I don't know. I don't like, but that's like the over specific targeting and then using property as platform. It's like all these properties are platforms and to disseminate the new social hygiene and the normalization. It's like one thing that really cringes me the fuck out. It just like, it makes me want to bail from like our side of the aisle is when we start calling everything degeneracy. That's a really hard term. That's up there with they call us incels. We call them degenerates. This is war, this weaponization of words. And it's just like degeneracy is like a really, really judgmental thing. It really does. And it gives you permission in a way to, exclude, to gatekeep, and to I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit. This is what all this show really is us shooting the shit together. And I'm not saying that judgmentally. I get it. Like, oh wow, space lesbians scissoring in space, making babies. You know what I mean? Like, oh boy, they've ruined the lore. No, I don't think they've ruined any of the lore, because that's just Disney. Star Wars, that's just Disney canon. It's not Lucas canon. They can't break Lucas canon. Lucas canon's closed. It's impervious to pain. It's imperturbable. It can't be changed. It can't be moved. It can't be negotiated with. It's not malleable. It's set in stone. It happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The Disney product that's what it is. It's lifestyle brand. It's content. It's it's been Disneyfied. It has. And it's not gymnastics. It's about letting go. I've let go of, my expectations of getting quality stuff from Disney when it comes to being Star Wars. Yeah, huh? Well, he shouldn't have opened his mouth in the first place. But it's, see, that's hashtag satire. I mean, degeneracy, maybe, but at the same time, you know it when you see, right? Like the definition of pornography in the Supreme Court. You'll know pornography when you see it. What is art, and what is adult situations and nudity, and then what is just the hub? Does it have a redeeming quality? Does it tell a story? Is it art? Well, that girl's hiney. That is a work of art. It's proof that God loves us. Oh boy, yeah. I've never seen any Disney Plus shows. I've watched 8 minutes of the Obi-Wan show, the last 8 minutes of the show. I wanted to see the big fight. I felt that I could. Yeah, why not? I watched it on YouTube. But yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, I've been keeping myself entertained the past few weeks. Watching lore videos, old lore videos from like 25,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, and then with a focus on 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. And if you know your Star Wars, that can only mean Darth Revan, Darth Malchus, Bastila Shan, HK-47, the Infinite Empire, all those great Knights of the Old Republic stories and the Old Republic stories. Those games, I mean, I never really paid attention to that shit. And those were some of the last huge contributions to the Lucas era canon before the 40 pieces of silver were paid to Lucas. And they sold to Disney. But I heard Andor was good. You know what I mean? Just, yeah. And, there's some parts of The Acolyte that look downright good. I mean, that episode... I'll call it chapter 5, because keeping calling these episode numbers, you're gonna, what has the prevalence in Star Wars when you say episode number? That's the movies, and it's when you say episodes 1 through 6, you know what you're talking about. If someone mentions 7 through 9, you can be like, meh. Those are your beliefs. I can respect that you have those beliefs. I don't have to hold your beliefs in order to respect your beliefs. Namaste. Namaste, my ass over here on this side of the Lucas line. That's true. But just like the evolution of like the Mandalorians, the Sith. There was something almost like a Dune style Paul Jihad that happened. That was like humanistic religious. That was just, and it went to, on a jihad to try, and it was anti-alien. It was just like, it was just like, oh wow, this stuff is pretty deep. And I wonder how much of that stuff gets thrown out. But it's all fair to cherry pick from for Disney. Indeed. Schrodinger's, and it's like, I mean, then I just like remind myself, Sully, it is kind of, there's a point where you got to remember these are just imaginary stories. And if you only put as much dedication into your finances or your homework or keeping your house clean, you know what I mean? There are other things in life that deserve that level of attention and love out of you. There's room for lots in a person. But I think they have the wrong idea. I mean, the new fans, you could take the property and you could switch up the property is mutable, but their feelings of advocacy and of agency and of activism and of progressive platforming, all that stuff remains. And that's like their focus. It's like, we need to change culture now. We need to take the toys away from the boys and break them. We need to give them new toys so they don't like worship guns And they you know, I just seriously, and I'm like, and then how the hell are we going to be able to be tough enough to stand up to I'm sorry, Mo, but the Muslim hordes? Look at Europe. I mean, geez, they did that to themselves. Or the Chinese. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm here in the United States of America. It's like people like, you know, they've forgotten that America's always had its enemies, and they might have sent their sleeper agents in a couple of generations ago. You know, there's that really good, like, you know, thing that's circulating on Twitter a lot of the times, and it's like a 1984 clip of an ex-KGB operative saying, like, you know how easy it will be to take down America? It will just take a couple of generations, subvert this, that, and the other thing, and break apart their unity. And you know what? And I'm pretty sure we scared the shit out of the whole world on September 12th, 2001. Seriously. Thank you. I respect the Muslim hordes. Seriously. And like, do they have toxic masculinity, or is that just an, like, you know, is that just Western pussies scared of an unfiltered masculinity that could, you know, that would you know, you have no problem chopping off your head and using it as a soccer ball? You know, seriously. I mean, war's a tough thing, man. I do nothing but read war history. Or war poems. I just finished the Iliad again, and I'm rereading Homer's Odyssey. Both are Fitzgerald translations on unabridged audiobook. It's been way too. Oh boy. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the Penguin yet. And let's look at some comic books. What are we doing? We are going to look at some comics, some funnies, new comics at our favorite place, LeagueOfComicGeeks.com. And I'll be better at closing ads because some of them have music and they disrupt the show. I was on Wes's yesterday and about to like have my say what my picks of the week were, and then like all of a sudden I'm getting all this like music coming out of my headphones, and I'm wondering who it is, like, you know, on the panel, and it's me, and no one else can hear it. But, or can they? I haven't rewatched that. There we go. Close that shit. Ultimate Spider-Man number 10. That will be in my poll list when I get it. Whenever I get it in the mail, to finish up my. This will be my last pull list from the local comic book shop I've been going to for a better part of 2 decades. Yeah, and I was going to keep going there until I actually move. But the whole thing with, like, you know, the 3 chicks, just, I'm getting a weird vibe from them. And I'm like, I no thanks. I'll go spend my money somewhere else. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I did nothing untoward. I did, you know, that's the thing with chicks, though. Once they consider you a creep, that's it. Chicks are judgmental. I mean, and why bring anything? I see, exactly. Let it go. Yeah, I did too. If AL shows up, AL snagged me a copy of the Frank Miller New York Comic Con exclusive covers. Thank you, AL. So we're she's at con all weekend. She got to hang out with Aaron Sparrow and meet Drew and a whole lot of things. It was fun. I'll tell you that much, Lane. Nick Dragota's art was amazing. I'd suggest read it pirated, and it'd be easy to pick one up, you know, if you're into it. I'm about to read Absolute Wonder Woman. I got a reader's copy of that. I haven't read it yet. I'm about to get to it. I'll tell you but I read Absolute Batman about the same time Wes did, about 3 weeks before release. So it was just like I kept my mouth shut, and Yeah, but it's fun. It's cartoony. It's over the top. It's very much got a lot of that Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns DNA to it. I mean, Stalker, it's shot in like sepia tones. And then it turns to color. When we enter the zone, fucking Stalker. I could talk about Stalker all day. It's one of my favorite. It's like this. It's almost 3 hours long. I mean, now I watch it with like, this is a Criterion version, so it's got like commentary tracks and shit and bonus stuff. I mean, Criterion, it's like there are a couple of different DVD, Blu-ray purveyors out there that just make things with great supplemental stuff. And Criterion is for me, has been the go-to top shelf one. Then there's like Shout Factory, which is really good. Arrow, which I've gotten turned on to recently. Kino Lorber. I don't consciously have a Kino Lorber movie yet, but I'm out there. I'm one of those movie files. I love Blu-rays and DVDs. It looks like a video store in my living room. I've got like 4 shelves full of Blu-rays and DVDs and TV shows and movies. Love them. And that's like, they're the reason I need to get that. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I got a good one. Yeah. I mean, let's see. Let me bring it up. I'll share it. Let's see. Accounts. Returns and orders. Your orders. Search all orders. Region free. Yeah, I got it for my own birthday. I ordered it earlier this year. And I bought it new. I got this. The Sony X800 M2 region zone, code free, 4K, Ultra HD Blu-ray player, worldwide use, 4K Wi-Fi. It was cheaper than a PS5. I mean, I don't play games anymore. It's got I don't play games anymore. I just use my PS4 as a Blu-ray player, and also as my Roku box that plays, Amazon Prime and YouTube. We'll see you on the other side, Lane. Hope you can make the Godspeed, John Glenn. Godspeed. And yes, I did read Nightwing 111. And we'll talk about that one real quick. 118, Nightwing 118. Great Nicola Smith art here. And this is a really nice variant cover. I love this. I like as you see the many phases of Robin, from Boy Wonder to Teen Wonder. I love the old Nightwing look when it was blue and yellow. I love the collar. And I love the collarless one. Those were like the ponytail days. The Scream of Sticks and a real utility belt. My least favorite one is the new 52 when it switched the primary color from blue to red. That was just like, kind of, I don't know, unnecessary. And it looks too much like the Joel Schumacher one. But this is a really good variant cover. That's probably the best part of the experience of reading this book, was that variant cover. I didn't buy it, but I read it. Bruno Redondo's art is pretty good, but it's pretty flat when it comes to like these fight scenes. And it's always hyper digitally enhanced with Ben-Day dot filters. I just, no thanks. Yeah. Zipatone dot kind of things. Mark Wade's World's Finest number 32. I read this. It's got 3 variant covers. Adrian Gutierrez is the new artist. I mean, you can totally tell the quality dips when Dan Mora is not on pencils. It's just, it just suffers. And Eclipso, as it's in the past, Superman and Batman are being mean, evil jerks under the sway of Eclipso. And it's just, classic Justice League and Robin. So it's like, I don't know. I should like this more. I did like another Mark Waid book this week. See, not this one. I didn't even read this. I didn't care enough. Mark Waid is writing a weekly on Action Comics. A weekly at $4.99. My friend Yule Carter says he's the owner and operator, purveyor of Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California. If you need any comic books, contact Yule. His deets are in the details, and he can hook you up. He hooks me up. And good night, Mo. Good to see you. Thank you so very much. It must be late up there. Yeah. Geez, you're half a world away. Well, maybe 3/4 of a world away. But still, that's pretty late. And dun, 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 dun. So yeah, Mark Waid got 3 DC books this week. Didn't get that one. Uncanny X-Men #4 by Gail Simone and with art by David Marquez. I don't mind this book one bit. I like the art. It's cartoony, but it works for the X-Men. I really liked Remy LeBeau's dialogue. He's really fun. And Gail Simone can write a good gambit. And I don't mind her rogue as much as everyone else does. And it's okay. So this is very much like a Mr. and Mrs. X title with other X-Men around for the ride. But it's okay. It'll do, Here's the much ballyhooed Wonder Woman #14. What is the point of Steve Trevor is the name of this pretty much standalone title. And it's told with a disjointed narrative, flip-flopping over the course of 50 days, starting at day 12. Day 1 is the day after Absolute Power ends. And Diana and Steve Trevor are in full swing of a relationship. By day 12, they only had 12 days to really enjoy what they found with each other because, spoilers, Steve Trevor is murdered by the Sovereign in cold blood. And Wonder Woman mourns. And it's also the origin story of Lizzie, Trinity. And as Tom King books go, I didn't mind it. I like this book. If I'm judging this just simply on the merits of it being a floppy, being a story, it works. It's okay. The Daniel Sampere art really elevates it. And we were talking on Wes about this yesterday. If this was, it is a cheap, I called it a narrative dirty trick. The breaking up of the linear set of events, and then by jumbling them and telling it kind of like what Quentin Tarantino did in Pulp Fiction in this, disjointed narrative, that it actually improves the story, because if told in a linear narrative, it would have been very, very boring. And at least gave the story a little bit more substance. Am I a fan of Tom King? No. But I don't mind saying a bravo when you do the job. He did the job on the Penguin, on his Penguin miniseries recently. Oh, see, now we're in it's color. Now we're in the zone. We've entered the zone. Stalker's about to send the push car back. That's Ryder, and the other one's Professor, and they're going to enter the zone. And they all, this is fucking great stuff. Tevya, how you doing? Good to see you. I haven't heard that one yet. Well, let's put it this way, Tevya. I have a good foil for this. It took about 5 years, but basically by the end of it, Jeremy Adams was able to rescue all the heroes that Tom King killed with Wally West in Heroes in Crisis. Jeremy Adams brought them all back in The Flash. Yes, he did. There you go. What? You can see that? I hope what? But so he'll be back. Yeah. And also, like, look at the first Patty Jenkins movie, Wonder Woman 1, you know. Steve dies at the end of that. We've seen Steve get killed before. And one of the most popular representations of the character, the first movie, Steve's already dead. Steve dies. Yeah. Yeah. Those were really good books. And I'm looking forward to his Aquaman. I'll tell you that. But yeah, Wonder Woman. 14. Oh, yeah. So it didn't suck. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll give credit when credit's due. Sure. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 25, $4.99, 28 pages. There's about 20 pages. Black Panther and Deadpool. Cody Ziegler. I mean, I've been reading this for months. I've kind of grown fond of Cody Ziegler. And that too, yeah, huh? They'll reverse Alfred's death as soon as it's convenient to story. You know, yeah, I mean, that's one thing Alfred is not. He's not Uncle Ben. You know, but let's see, we got 5 variant covers. He gets a new costume, or an alternate costume. He's always getting alternate costumes in this. Blade gave him an alternate costume, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at this stupid thing." It's like, whatever. He's got an alternate costume over on the movie too. I mean, with the spray paint the spray paint motif on his chest instead of the usual, streamlined thing, his usual Ultimate Spider-Man look. But yeah, I mean, Miles Morales Spider-Man's a decent book. It's a decent monthly, sure. I read Titan 16. It's by Bob Layman, John Layman rather. Art by Pete Woods, who's solid. It's Tom Taylor. He's done with the book, and it's time for a new writer. That's that. And sometimes that's good, and sometimes see John Layman's a veteran superhero writer, so this is like so standard. The story is it's how standard is it? It's pretty. This year too. There's the Kelly Jones Trick or Treat ones. But look how basic this art is. This is Kelly Jones, and I mean, at least see thematically too. I mean, I've mentioned this before. Like look at these Frank Miller covers. Like there was a Frank Miller Wolverine cover. There was a Frank Miller, Absolute Batman #1, and it's just so flat looking, and it doesn't look like it took much effort at all. And I also saw that John Cassaday did a cover kind of like that, and now like Kelly Jones, it's like, look at this. Is that supposed to be the style? Just like here, do a 10-minute drill. Oh, cool. It's good to see like someone else out there is reading that too. Yeah. I've been reading that in my in my pirate chest. Every time it's in my pirate chest, I read it. And I also liked Spider-Punk Arms Race by Cody Ziegler. That was really decent. Adam Frey, what do you say today? Yo, crew. What about you? Are you at NYCC today? Is that your stomping grounds? Are you going there? Did you get to hang out with AL? You get to see Drew and Aaron? I mean, man, I wish I went, but it's huge. I mean, cons can be stressful. You know what I mean? Just they're huge. There's so many people. But yeah, what a disappointing Kelly Jones cover. I'm sorry. Jeez. It's called Stitches in Time, 20 pages, $3.99. And if anything, blame Brittany Holzer and Paul Kaminsky and Chris Rosa. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really standard basic issue 1 kind of thing. Here is one of my picks of the week. This will be in my my pull list, and it is Jeremy Adams and Harmonico. It's Legacy 583, 17 more issues, and we'll be at issue number 600. Interesting. And like the all in, and we've getting legacy numbers in all of these covers now. That's great. I like legacy numbers. I'm in for that. And it's the next part of the new story. The seeds of war have been sown, and now a massive battle rages across the galaxy. Dark stars, former Green Lanterns in different shades of light. Mogo is angry. Kilowog's back and he's fearful. What do you say? Light the way. I really like this issue. This issue was, it's like Jeremy Adams is like, have you ever read any Andy Weir? Andy Weir wrote the Martian, which was a Ridley Scott movie with Matt Damon, survival tale. All right. It's a really good book. It's a good movie too. But also Andy Weir also wrote Artemis, and something that's coming out very shortly too, that's under production with Ryan Gosling as the lead. It's Project Hail Mary, and it's a wonderful sci-fi book. And it's like Jeremy Adams for me is like the Andy Weir of DC Comics. There was a part in there where Carol Ferris, the Star Sapphire, is figuring out the problem, and I just wanted to get up and cheer. I literally went woohoo! It was a woohoo moment. Had cinematic buildup and release. Cinematic buildup and release of just the simple heroic moments for these great characters that we love. And this is Jeremy Adams. It's just way to go, man. Thank you so very much. Enjoying the hell out of this. Wolverine number 2. This is Saladin Ahmed and art by Martin Coccolo. Look at all we have 610. So you have 11 covers all day. You have 11, yeah. Wow. And it's okay. It wasn't that great. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of ridiculous. But hey, these are superhero books, Jeez. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you too. I like that. Watching the Eagles and listening to Funko Pop's homework. Nice. What else? What else did we read? Okay, I read this. This is Catwoman 69. Why no legacy number on Catwoman? Catwoman's been around for a while. She should have a legacy number. Oh, come on. Girls can do legacy numbers too. I should complain to DC Comics. What's up with this meritocracy thingies? No, this is Torin Grunbeck's DC comic. It's Catwoman. I like her stuff over on Marvel. I didn't expect to like Carnage so much, but it's been this weird ride. I've been starting to enjoy Torin Grunbeck, and so I read this. I'm a Selena Kyle fan. Catwoman can be a great title when given to the right writer. And this really had the feel of, to me, it reminded me of an Ann Nocenti Daredevil book. And that's a compliment. And that's what I'll say. Yeah, that's where I'll leave it. I read this and it was okay. It was actually more than okay. It was pretty darn good. This is Batman and Robin Year One, by Mark Waid, and with great art by Chris Samney. I think this is a 6-issue mini, and it's canonical, and it's set before World's Finest. I'm pretty sure about that. This is a great Samney cover. This is a really nice Alex Ross web store that's based off the Dick Sprang cover. This is some more Alex Ross. That's an homage to Batman issue number 1. This is a very famous Alex Ross that has been around for like at least 20 years. And the Michael Janin with the same pose. Matteo Scalera. Oh, that's sweet. But I can't buy Mark Waid books. I'm not going to do it. Well, if I give Ethan Van Sciver the grace of being off the hook with his outrageous internet opinions and shit, shouldn't I give Mark Waid the same freedom? Shouldn't I be just as, shouldn't I give him the pass as well? I found what he said about the assassination attempt on President Trump to be really distasteful. Very much so. And I mean, this is fun. This is Carl Kerschel, but look at the background. I mean, that's just like, is that drawn, or is that's got to be some kind of, file, some drop and drag. And I like Carl Kerschel stuff. Lee Weeks. And I like that that's the most traditional Robin costume. They've gone back to the absolute basics. It's my favorite Robin look. The classic look. Yellow cape, short pants, pixie boots, short sleeves. You know what I mean? He's wicked young. I think in this, I wonder how old he is in this. I'd say he's probably about 10 or 11. I mean, I think Robin's best when he starts at 8 years old. The boy wonder. And he's just like, he could really, he really makes Batman stop and think about what he's doing. You know what I mean? How much danger do you want to get this small child into? I'll tell you this, Dan Waters' Destro 5 of 5 here was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. I felt that Scarlet issue 5, a lot of people are saying this too. Even Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, he was like, yeah, it was the strongest issue of the bunch. And it just doesn't make the previous 4 issues any better. It just proves that this went on like 3 issues too long. This could have been it would have been a better story if it was just more concise and short, and they knew how to cut stuff out of it. Destro was fine. It's just about the Crimson Twins versus Destro, because they're all arms suppliers, and then how they both get yoked under Cobra, and they have to get along and put aside their differences. Here's one that I missed. It's 3 of 3, and no, there's 4 of them. Okay, I have to come and get this one. There are so many variant covers. Hopefully, I'll get it tomorrow. Maybe I'll drop by NEC Quincy tomorrow, and but this is a little oversized. It's perfect bound, cardstock cover. It's $8.99, 52 pages quoted here. So it's probably about, it's probably like 40 pages of story and art, but it's Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution issue number 3. Now I'm going to get this. I have the first 2 issues. I like this. This is an IDW book, but it's most definitely set in the old Mirage continuity. This is Stalker. Hey, what happened to the American flag? What happened to the roaring fireplace? Well, let's change things up. Let's see. Batman Full Moon. It's a black label. Written by Rodney Barnes. Stevan Subic is the artist. It's interesting because Matthew Levine and Chris Conroy is the executive editor, or the editors, and I thought that Katie Kubert was the Bat Group editor. You know what I mean? But this is Black Label, and also news coming out of New York Comic Con. Vertigo is coming back as an imprint. This is going to be, I think, Vertigo's 4th go around as an imprint. There was the original Karen Berger stuff. There was the early 2000s. There was the new 52-ish Adam Corey wreck of the wreck of the Edmonds Fitzgerald, and now this new one, Mystique #1. Declan Shelby wrote it and did the art. Wasn't very thrilled with it. It's I read it. I missed Rain 2 #4. I have to go back and read that because this is pretty over the top. Kari Andrews is writing and drawing this, and it's really damn good. It's pretty darn good. What else? I read Jenny Sparks #3. It's Black Label. I'm a huge Authority fan, huge Stormwatch fan, huge Authority fan. It's the Tom King book. Yeah, I read it. It happened, sure. Let's see. Star Wars: The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising #2 of 12. $3.99 though. Okay, for 20 pages of story and art. But it's a weekly. So it's kind of over the next 3 months. You know, you got all these Phil Noto covers. Like Phil Noto, Bruno Redondo. Great at doing these static shots, these poster shots, or these simple, dialogue driven panels of just, character stuff. But when it comes to dynamic action and fight scenes, I feel like they fall flat. So I read that Star Wars book. It's good to see that they've got, they're going back to some of the, in 2017, in 2012, Disney bought Star Wars. In 2015 came out The Force Awakens. Around that time, too, there was a new editorial edict from Lucasfilm and Lucas Books that the old canon will be now known as Legends, the expanded universe, and it's not going to be counted as canon anymore to make way for new stories. But Lucas Story Group dropped the ball miserably when it came to all the moving parts that they were doing since 1992. You had about almost 3 decades of moving parts that meshed together pretty well, and then they couldn't even hold it together for a decade. But in Battlefront 2, 2017, the PS4 game, I love that game. There was a story mode, and there was this droid that had the Emperor's face, a hollow of it. It had an AI of Palpatine, giving his last will and testament and shit. And then there was Luke Skywalker, who had to find Palpatine's observatory to find this compass that was a part of. You see this compass in Luke's stuff in The Last Jedi as well. You know what I mean? So that's as good as how this compass thing mattered in the big overstory of the new continuity. I mean, it sputtered out, especially after Rise of Skywalker fails in late 2019. So by 2020, it's just the only ones talking about Star Wars are really the outraged YouTubers. The Fandom Menace. I was Fandom Menace. You know what I mean? It was an idea. It was a hashtag. It was cute. I liked the pun of the name. It was punny. And but it makes you a bad person. And now Star Wars is just completely run over by activists and people using it as a proxy for their own politics. And it's just, they've ruined they haven't ruined Star Wars. They've ruined Disney Star Wars. They've ruined Disney can't tell a good Star Wars story because it can't let itself. It's like it's been decided by committee. If you know that Star Wars reference, you know what I mean? I don't have time. We don't have time to discuss this as a committee. I am not a committee. Empire Strikes Back. Well, it's just, yeah. Oh, well. Star Wars. I'll always love it. And it says new story arc. And there's no solicit for November or December or January at this point. And so it seems like is this the last issue of Local Man? Now it has this really clever conceit. It goes from issue 13 last month and it skips over to issue 25. And now this is this is an old Image thing, like Image of Tomorrow. They skip ahead a year, storytelling. Just as Image Comics line did back in 1995, Local Man jumps ahead a full year to give you a glimpse of what the future brings from issue 13 to 25. Third Gen is back with a vengeance, blah, 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 woof, woof. But it's a fun book. It's a flip book. It's just, you flip it over and you get like the other tale is at the end of the other book. And it's something that you can only do in a floppy, in a monthly serial magazine format. It doesn't collect like that in the trade paperback. You don't turn the trade paperback upside down. No, you only do that with the floppy. And this is what makes it such a fulfilling experience to me as a comic book fan. And it's so fun. And it plays with the tropes and it plays with the cliche. And it does its own thing. And it's self-referential. And it's just fun. Local Man. It's one of my favorite books. So what's the future of Local Man? I don't know. I hope there's more for all of us. What else did I read? I read Domain number 4. It bores the hell out of me. Hopefully it's only going these 5 issues. And because it's very meta. This is what I really enjoy is Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky. So The Domain is the comic book that they're making in Public Domain. So that's the meta part of it. This is like the result of like what Miles Dallas is writing and Zanya Ko is drawing, and it's edited by Sid Dallas, or you know what I mean. Sid and Dave Dallas, his boys, are part of it too. Like it just the whole thing of the modern audience, and I can't stand this book. It's awful. It is like a modern, it is made for modern audiences. Maybe it would be better if they had the other domain. See, that's part of the joke of Public Domain is that the 2 original creators are now making 2 competing titles called The Domain with their own independent stories, and it's a fun book. I swear by Public Domain. Flash Gordon number 3 will hopefully be in my last pull list from my old comic book shop, and I haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to that because it's Jeremy Adams, and he knows how to spin a yarn. This book here, Multiversus Collision Detected number 3, was pretty fun. But I gotta say, it's $4.99, which is kind of unfair because this is most definitely, it should be made for kids. And DC has three other books: a Scooby-Doo book, a Scooby-Doo Batman book, and a Looney Tunes book. They sell that for $2.99. So I mean, like, who is this made for? I mean, I don't, I think they shot themselves in the foot by charging $4.99 for this. $4.99, not even $3.99. Barfly number 3 was fun. I gotta tell you, Jupiter's Legacy Finale number 1 and Prodigy Slaves of Mars number 3. I haven't read any Prodigy Slaves of Mars yet, and I haven't read Jupiter's Legacy in a long time. I had Jupiter's Legacy 2, and I never finished it. I think there was another third one, so I'm missing a Jupiter's Legacy. And I read this, and it's weird when Mark Millar has a miss with me, but it's probabilities. It's not everything is going to land, and this is a good case of that. I'm going to have to probably get this for $6.99, the foil cover variant of the facsimile of Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7, with the legendary cover, but in foil. A foil cover. I'm totally getting that if I see it. I have no chill. I suffer from my weaknesses. I mean, damn you. And those are the books that I read this week. Next week coming out. Look, this is unfair. Nightwing 119 for $4.99 is coming out. And who's writing this? Dan Waters is writing it with Dexter Soy. And here's that Kelly Jones variant cover. Look at that. I mean, like I said, that's, hey, look at that. You're back. Good to see you. Curses. Foiled again. I thought it'd be another Fortnite Batman and wanted to milk it. There's a new game out there called Multiverses, and it's taking all of the WB stuff. So it's got like Bugs Bunny in there, and it's got Scooby-Doo in there, and it's got Steven Universe. It's got Justice League. It looks like Justice League Unlimited too. Yes, this is for next week, and this is the Kelly Jones variant. And it's like, I think the art is so poor, but it looks like that John Cassaday cover that didn't look like he had any effort, and it also looks like the Frank Miller ones that suffer from that same thing. That looks awful. But we just got a new issue of Nightwing last week, and why no legacy number on Nightwing? We just basically had Nightwing 300 just a couple of issues ago. Why pick and choose? X-Men number 6 coming out. Superman 19, that will be on my final week at my old comic book shop. So will Rook Exodus number 6. This is my favorite comic coming out of Ghost Machine. Hulk number 18, I think, with a cover by Nick Klein. But Nick Klein returns. Oh, good. It's Legacy $9.99, so we got one more issue until Legacy 800. The 800th issue of Hulk. That's pretty cool. And we're here for it. This is Chris Condon's. This is Joshua Williamson's final issue on Green Arrow. It's Legacy issue 350, $4.99, quoted as 40 pages. So there's probably a 32 pager in here, or a 20 and a 12, or a 20 and a 10, or something like that. Or whatever, however they want to count it. We'll find out Wednesday. And and then Chris Condon takes over. Avengers 19 by Jed McKay. The new Iron Man number 1. How many variant covers do we have for this new Iron Man? Well, that's a pretty... The Deadly Foes variant. I like this cover. I like that a lot. I like that kind of Mark IV-ish looking armor. And that's pretty fun. And I'm not sold on this armor. I don't know why. Yep. That's a negative space. I like negative space books. That's okay. There are Doom variant covers. Philip Tan. This is a foil variant cover. That's pretty sweet, though. But I just feel like, look, his crotch and his thighs are exposed. And his midriff. It's like he's just got a cuirass and some, and you know, yeah, it's a lot. He leaves a lot of his body exposed. I mean, hey, look at Scotty Young variant, huh? That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the new Iron Man. I wonder if he's in the West Coast. He's gone back to LA because Jerry Duggan is going to be restarting West Coast Avengers any second now. You're getting this new one? Oh, cool. I am looking forward to Chris. I like Chris Condon's work, so I might give Green Arrow a chance. Let's see. Void Rivals 13 coming soon to a theater near you. It's Hellblazer Dead in America number 10. Power Girl 14. Oh, wow. But at least we still get the cheesecake. Written by Leah Williams. Only 3 variant covers. We've got Boob and Brawn, which is pretty nice. And this variant cover. Miguel Mercado. This one's nice. The Simone de Mio. So we get boobs and we've got some cheeks here. I'm a big fan of Power Girl. What do you want? Daniel Sampere, the all-in foil variant cover. But it's not a good book. What else do we got coming up this week? We've got from the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives. No thanks. Venom War Carnage number 3, written by Torrin Grönbeck. This thing is pretty much off the hook. It's real good horror. I kind of like it. Let's see. Grommets number 5. It's all right, but it's just it's slice of life, kind of like 80s movie-ish. There's nothing really happens. Let's see. Anything else coming out next week that I won't be getting? I'll be fulfilling my. Oh, there. Oh, isn't there a third one coming out next week? Are they skipping a week? Was I wrong about it being a weekly? I might have been. That'd be fine. Oh, nice. All right. And that's it for comic books this week. Indeed. Let's see what else. So yeah, I've been watching these Star Wars lore videos. Yeah, so it's like goes all the way back to 25,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. There weren't lightsabers yet. There were like super sharp swords that were fortified by your strength in the Force or something. Then lightsabers, the earliest lightsabers had like a power cord connected to a battery source. And then came the whole technology gets smaller. And but like the original Mandalorians were a reptilian race. And somewhere along the way, the humans colonized or something, and just whatever happened to the original Mandalorian, the reptilian race, who knows? But their name endures. And yeah, let's see what else. Music tabs. We're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, it's Sunday. I need to go get my laundry and finish my chores, and then make supper, and then get myself to bed and ready myself for a week full of work and stalker. Well, thank you guys so very much for tuning in today. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Tune in during the week for some gratitude, and we'll do this all again on Sunday, and we'll have more hijinks to talk about. All righty. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao.